Initiates for the flame. You are now programmed to drop dem draws. Have you been maintaining your flame?
Peace and welcome. I'm here with my big dogs, my bros. We are here with another fire impactful video. Gentlemen, how we feeling tonight? How you feeling about tonight's information? What we gonna do with it? What's the word? What's up?
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective, man. It's a Mystic here to rock out with my bros for another episode of Initiates for the Flame. Oh, join the Discord. I'm doing good though, just chilling.
That's what's up.
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective, Sacred Serpent, Sacred Dark Serpent. Yeah, we here for another fire build. Appreciate y'all joining us, giving us the space once again. Let's get to it.
So, of course, we are here, and we are a spiritual panel, and one thing we always focus on is the stars, astrology, and the main thing that we noticed tonight is, of course, the moon being in Cancer. On this Monday, if you was in our lunar conversations, the moon was in Gemini, and we talked about that. So if you didn't miss that, go ahead and check it out. It's all on our channels, on Hood's channel, it's on Initiates, it's on mine, it's even on Breeze's. So check that out if you missed out on the previous moon energy and want to catch up on what we're doing today. So now I want you guys to understand the main thing about astrology is that it really reflects the energies that's going on throughout the planet, right? We always got to remember the universal law, as so above, as so below. So, Hood, Serpent, when you think of like as so above, as so below, what's like the easiest way or a digestible way for people to understand it through your expression or your opinion? Like, what's your thoughts behind it? The universal law, as so below, as so above.
I think it hits in different areas. Like it's like various areas where you can correlate as above, so below. I think that when you look at like things such as like quantum physics, they talk about how like it's these microscopic worlds that are like perfect. The system is perfect, but in the larger you get, the harder it is to maintain that perfection. So like what I mean is like at a conscious human level, it's not something that's easy to grasp or understand. Mm-hmm. But when we talk about astrology, which connects to the astrocytes or the cellular body, it represents a perfect symmetry of how life works. Now, it's convoluted with humans because a nigga can just wake up today and decide I'm about to just drink liquor all day, you know. But if you're able to like regress, digress, and progress into like your deeper spiritual nature, you will see that as above, meaning the celestial, so below, meaning your cellular body, is in direct alignment. It can't not be in perfect alignment. So it's always going to be a wiggle room between human understanding and what's really happening at the cellular level. But if you want to just understand astrology or as above, so below, you need to remove the ego, because the ego is going to say, I don't get it, I don't understand, this has nothing to do with me. This is unrelatable. But ultimately, that's because the ego don't know shit. Ultimately, to even come to that decision.
What say you, Serpent?
I'm sorry, I was out of the room. What did I miss?
No, we was talking about as so above, as so below. And I was asking like, what's your thoughts on it, and how do you interpret it? How would you explain for others so they can understand?
Well, the macrocosm being the universe is a direct and immediate reflection of the microcosm, that being you, the human being. So when I think about as above, as so above, so below, as above, so below, I think about nothing that's happening down here is not happening up there. So whatever it is that you identify with down here is happening up there on some form, in some form or level. And really it's just a matter of both concepts mirroring one another, one on a smaller scale to the other on a bigger scale.
Ashe. So why I'm bringing this all up to make this understandable is because with the Mars conjunct Moon in Cancer, right, and with all these things going on, I had really got a download and saw an interesting message and things on social media regarding to Malcolm X and his assassination, with his family suing FBI, NYPD, and all these organizations. And the reason why is because when you think about a Moon and Mars conjunct in the 4th house of Cancer, with Mars being there, right, everyone's lives are affected in different ways. You and your family could be pursuing goals together and have a mission, or you can be like Malcolm X family, fighting for a cause for their family, getting justice, bringing peace because they are scarred by this wound, losing a strong figure in their family. And when we think about Malcolm X, he's paved the way and been a historical figure for a long time. So with all this regarding, I'm gonna show you the video that was first brought up, and then we're gonna break this down, make this digestible, because it's a whole series pertaining to old events, dealing with Tupac Shakur's mom, dealing with Malcolm X and his family and his assassination, even the decodings of these two men representing comical figures like X-Men, like Magneto, you got Professor X. So we're gonna digest all this. Let's check out this vid.
Yeah, we got the CIA and the NYPD.
I don't think I can hear that.
I could hear it.
Oh, you good? Okay, good.
Announced the filing of our $100 million lawsuit against the United States government, the FBI, the CIA, and the NYPD, who we believe all conspired to assassinate Malcolm X. It is not lost on us that justice has been delayed in this matter. And on this momentous occasion, we stand ready to lay out our complaint very soundly. We believe there is solid ground to go forward with this lawsuit at this time. We here today officially announce the filing of our $100 million lawsuit against the United States government, the FBI, the CIA, and the NYPD, who we believe all conspired to assassinate Malcolm X.
So, gentlemen, what you thinking? What's your comments? Let me know. Give me hip, cause like this is something impactful, low key. It's something you can overlook. Like, why is this being called out now? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think like when you are a family like Malcolm X, who basically, from what I understand, he died broke. Niggas is trying to figure out how to get some money. And with like Malcolm X, anytime you get a bunch of black people together, chances are it's being infiltrated by the CIA and FBI because they have a fear of a black messiah, period. So with all that being said, the CIA killing them and all of that, and the FBI working together to kill them, I think that's just kind of like how it goes in this country. You're not going to find nobody. They either work for them or they going to take you out. Or sometimes it be a combination of both.
Like they'll be working, then they realize they doing some fucked up shit and expose things, then get whacked for exposing it and switching sides.
Or it's just part of the narrative to get whacked. Like the actors ain't the ones. Malcolm X is such a powerful figure because he transitioned. Was Martin Luther King? Oh, it's like what Biggie said. You nobody till somebody kill you.
Yeah, with the systematic infiltration of all of the melanated movements going back as far as Jim Crow on up until now. I mean, we could take it all the way back to Egypt if we wanted to be technical, but we just talking about right now. There has always been people that look like us that just haven't been necessarily for us, and I think that has been, the major thing that gets us caught up is that we think all kinfolk is skinfolk, and it doesn't necessarily work out that way. This was the same thing that occurred with the Black Panther movement. This is the same thing that occurred with the forming of the HBCUs and the NAACP. This is the same thing that occurred with all the way up to more recent movements like Black Lives Matter. What you find is that the Boule, especially the Boule, they're the biggest one behind it all. But yeah, what you find is that people that look like us have used our penchant for always giving a melanated person a pass in the media. They've used that against us. So like, our people know that what we fought with so long has always not been necessarily the fair-skinned people who have been our issue. It's always been the people who live with us, who sleep with us, who are around us, who grew up with us and played like they were down with us, but weren't necessarily down with us per se. This is just another case. The majority of Malcolm X's camp were involved in some way, shape, or form with the CIA. It was the same thing with Malcolm, with Martin Luther King, um, Noble Drew Ali, Marcus Garvey. Um, it's always a person that looks like you that puts that stake in your back. So that has never changed. Um, People always ask the question, well, how could we be so great and build things like Egypt and Atlantis and this, that, and the other, and these people get to come in and take over? It's because they had help. You know, at the end of the day, they had help. And the help that they had came from people that looked just like me and you.
Yeah, that's one thing that's really hard to accept for people that when they get into this information, just history, understanding that most of the time it's your own people, you know, that do some of these things to you. And it's like sometimes we have to realize like mistakes and sometimes just the times that things were going on, like what people was doing. Like we have to really study and understand to wrap our minds around it. 'Cause 9 times 10, when you study the history, you understand today. This happened to Malcolm, and them getting lawsuit, them trying to put lawsuits on these organizations just shows how they was in ties with them. To me, just like, you know what I'm saying, like it's like some Eric Snowden type shit.
Yeah. A lot of shit be black ops. I was just thinking, like, you know, I was watching the Gangs of New York the other day. And so from the inception of this country, it's been gangs. And the gangs have worked intimately with the police. And the police have worked intimately with the government. And it's been a nice interweaving complex of, you know, dudes who are basically lawless, that, you know, worst thing that ever happened to them is they might go to jail. And then once they go to jail, they're basically gods. They fucking, they eating, they doing everything you doing on the streets is just quote unquote in jail. So, and the reason that they get it so sweet is because the warden is in on it, the deputies is in on it. It's a private prison, and it's just, you know, as long as the money is being made, everything else is up for grabs. So I think a lot of us, we look at gangsters and criminals and not realize that most criminals are instruments of the government, period. They are informants, they are paid informants. They can sell more dope than you right in your face and never go to jail. And you sell a nickel bag and get locked up for life, because that's the way this shit is. But we don't see the black ops side of it. We only see what they want us to see. But we got to understand, black operations resort to, we don't got to tell y'all shit, and the budget is infinite.
That's a fact. That's crazy you brought up Black Ops, because I'm finishing up on the second season of Lioness right now. And it's always a game behind a game. So like, I think about it in the way that I think about the occult. We're like, we have the Matrix, and then we have the real world, which exists, you know, attached to your higher consciousness. But you don't even get to that part of the real world or this realm unless you understand the occult. And it's the same way when it comes to this kind of stuff. When we talk about socially engineering of people to do a particular thing, these assassinations and these taking down of specific iconic leaders is extremely systematic, and it's just another ploy within their game that is played. You know, they're not playing on this under the same rules that we're playing under. So like, they can show you one thing and it all be about just gearing your attention towards that thing while they're doing something in a completely different area, and it goes right over your head because you were so wrapped up in Jay-Z being accused, or wrapped up in if Drake is going to sell another album, like it's the same thing that happened with Malcolm and Martin. When Malcolm was taken down, the biggest thing that was going on around the world was he was excommunicated from the Nation of Islam. So while he was still doing what he was supposed to be doing for his deen and for his people and his family, he was excommunicated out of the same organization that helped him turn his whole entire life around. So that was the big thing. It was, why wasn't Malcolm and Muhammad Ali talking anymore? Like, why wasn't Malcolm going on these talking exposés with Jim Brown and them? Like, why wasn't he there? And all of this was systematic. Like, they wanted to alienate him out of the nation because he had grown too big for the nation. And so their claim to fame was nobody is bigger than the movement. However, they did make sure that Elijah Muhammad was bigger than the movement. They did make sure that Farrakhan following him was bigger than the movement. So it all really boiled down to, as far as I'm concerned, who was down with it and who wasn't down with it. And it was too difficult for anybody on the outside looking in to see and notice, maybe these people aren't really for Malcolm, and maybe they're doing something against Malcolm. No, the whole narrative was Malcolm did something against the nation, and so the nation excommunicated him from it.
Maybe he was an informant, because didn't he go to jail? It's a story with Quincy Jones talking about he bought fucking crack or cocaine off of Malcolm X. I'm like, no fucking way.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Before he went to jail and took his shahada and became Muslim, he was that dude in the street. Like, he was wearing greasy, slick back hair. He had the colorful suits on, and he was a numbers runner. You know what I'm saying? He ran the streets. It wasn't until he went to jail and they had to take that perm out of his head and all of that. That was when he supposedly cleaned up. But then, depending on who you talk to, you'll have people that will tell you that that's when he turned into an agent for the CIA. So it depends on who you talk to, really.
When you go to jail, I'm gonna tell you this: it's a lot of weird shit that take place when you go to jail, and a lot of niggas come out cold ass informants. Like cold ass informants. He come out of jail a Muslim and cool, but I don't think you just naturally get clout in this world. There's no such thing as that.
There's no such thing as organic clout. You're right. It's not.
That just naturally got clout because he was such a dynamic speaker. Mm-hmm. Who is that person?
Yeah. We could say that about all of them, right? Stokely Carmichael and
anybody that gets nationwide clout in reference to a message that is supposedly good or bad or whatever the case may be, however you lay it out, when it boils down to it, none of these people are going to say you are Atlantean, you've always been here, and no, I'm working at the White House, I'm telling the president right now, we ain't from Africa.
Yeah.
Right? It's only fringe motherfuckers that's going to say it. When you get to the top of the top, you can basically say and do whatever as long as you're not telling black people the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's the game. That's the bottom line. Say and do everything, and tell black people that they from Africa. You are good. All of this narrative thing, it'll be like you watching Power season 56. Right? None of this shit is real, but a nigga's getting killed though. You like, nigga died.
Like,
Who
fuck.
died? Ghost died. Okay, like I don't watch it.
It would be like niggas crying in real life over a show and a nigga died on the show.
Exactly. None of these niggas instituted change in your life in no way. You're supposed to constitute and build up your masculine energy, not idolize, or I'm making up a word, enigmatize a white person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's 5,700 races on the planet. A nigga standing in front of you talking about white people this, white people that. CIA, get the fuck out of my face.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as a white person. You talking about 7% of the world population. I don't give a fuck what white people do. It's so many different races.
This is a fact. Yeah, AD, for some homework going forward for you. If there's a movie for you to watch, I would say you would have to watch The Spook That Sat by the Door.
The Spook That Sat by the Door. Writing it down.
I was thinking of what's that movie with Lakeith Stanfield and the boy from Get Out?
Oh, you talking about the shit that they just redid?
Messiah and the something.
Yeah, the Messiah joint.
That shit. You seen that movie, AD?
Yeah. We'll find the name of it.
I gotta get the exact name. That's a cold motherfucking movie, Jake. That shit make you know a good movie when you leave that movie theater mad. Nigga, I watched that movie like, man, this shit is fucked up.
Was it made by like Jordan Peele or Key Peele, what his name is?
I got it, brother. Judas and the Black Messiah.
Judas, and that's a cold motherfucker.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know that. I know what you're talking about.
Basically, the inside story to how them niggas got in on the East Coast, at least, to how they got into the Black Panther
Chicago.
Party. Yeah, that's how they infiltrated the East Coast Black Panthers. The one how they infiltrated the West Coast joints it's another one that's it got a A-list star in it too. Hold on. Because they got one for the West Coast too. It's the dude from the new Captain America is the lead role in that one.
Chris, what's his name?
No. The black, not the black, the new Captain America, but the black one.
What's his name? I know you're talking about. Yeah,
Falcon. The dude that plays Falcon.
I can't think of his name though. Shit, Huey Newton, probably one of the most impressive black men on the face of the earth. He died. He died. Motherfucker smoking crack.
He was straight up CIA.
Think of black people at a majority level trying to really fight against these white people, like for their ancestors. Because you gotta think, the niggas in the 60s and 70s, their great grandmas actually was in slavery and they knew them and talked to them. So they really got a thing for white people. So they start mobilizing, they start getting guns, they start utilizing technology, all for these white people to mollywop their motherfucking asses at the end of the day. I listened to a Tupac tape in 1992. The same shit that they talking about in 1992, niggas is talking about in 2024. That's 30 years. Ain't no progress been made. This shit is not real. If you don't take it, like that whole, what is you going to do when the whole world hate white people? Not just black people. Chinese niggas hate white people. Arabians hate white people. Indians hate white people. And these niggas are invincible. These niggas is going log cabin riding or some shit. They don't give a fuck. They playing disc golf on your bitch ass, and you fighting the power.
Log cabin riding.
I made some shit up, but a white person will probably do it. These white people do not care about your plight and your struggle and your fight. They got a nice house, they got a nice life, and if they kids ain't smoking opioids, they made it out safe. Cause it's like we gotta understand things from a spiritual level. Like this shit crazy. Like it'd be so crazy, man. What was niggas fighting for? What did they get? What happened in reference to the freedom civil rights movement? Like what do you feel like we came away with? Like, yeah, if it wasn't for Martin Luther King, I wouldn't be able to XYZ.
Nah, I could never say any of that. Like, I could never. Honestly, I don't think there is. I don't think there's a legitimate answer to that question. Because if there was a legitimate answer to that question, we could actually point to something and see where some tangible evolution has happened within some of this shit. But bro, you can't point to nothing and be like, oh yeah, we got this because of that. Nah, son. I can't see it.
In 2023, 2024, we was really talking about sundown towns in mainstream media.
Yes, we were.
A sundown town is a city or a town with 99% white people in that city or town. That is racist as hell. You know why it's racist? Because black people have never in the history of life come together and said, hey, bruh, let's all stay in the same neighborhood, bruh.
Never.
We've never had that conversation. Meaning that if your black ass decided to move to one of these goddamn sundown towns, you would know real quickly why it ain't no black people living there. What you about to say?
No, I was just gonna say like that. That's true. Cause like, yeah, we still talking about the slavery route. Niggas are still talking about which direction we came from.
Niggas still talking about, yeah, only 100,000 slaves came from Africa here. Most of the slaves went to Brazil and South America. But yeah, my ancestors were slaves. My ancestors came from Africa. Nigga, the math don't math.
Yeah.
It's 100,000 Chinese people in fucking Boston. What are we talking about? Like, let's like, you think that's saying like, oh yeah, the Chinese people in fucking Boston populated all the Chinese people in the country. That make no sense. We would have to already have been here if it's 40 million of us today.
And look up Seberg, Seberg.
What's that?
That's the one I was talking about. Where this white lady used the Black Panther movement in California to further her own agenda, and them niggas jumped on it, just so they could get the publicity and shit. Anthony Mackie is in it. He basically was the one that let her in the Panther Party and shit. And he was hitting it. So
this right here?
Yes, sir.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, that shit got scenes with the Hoover people calling her to wear wires and shit, and yeah, that shit is crazy.
They let this whole join a Black Panther party. You can't make this shit up.
Can't make it up. Can't make it up. It's like, you know, somebody just wanted to hit that, bro. Like,
remember I was telling you about COINTELPRO earlier, AD?
Yep.
Yeah. COINTELPRO.
Yep. Yeah, that shit. That shit is an eye movie. It's an eye opener. But it gives you an insight into what Hood been talking about with the whole CIA thing. Like, the CIA sent her out there. Like, you know, she wasn't just out there just to be out there around the Panthers. Like, you know, they put her on a plane and put her out there.
COINTELPRO was a series of covert and illegal projects conducted between 1956 and 1971 by the United States Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI, aimed at surveilling, infiltrating, discrediting, and disrupting American political organizations that the FBI perceived as subversive. Subversive refers to a process by which the values and principles of a system in place are contradicted or reversed in an attempt to sabotage the established social order and the structures of power, authority, tradition, hierarchy, and social norms. Wow. Yeah, so these boys everywhere. Big Brother, as they call it, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Beginning in 1969, leaders of Black Panther were targeted by the COINTELPRO and neutralized by being assassinated in prison. Right? So, along with that, let's bring you to this video. And check this out, because this coincides with the story a little bit, and it's going to get you hit what's going on. Hold up. I got it. Let me know if y'all can hear that.
No.
That's it. No, quick as hell.
Relatives of the Black civil rights leader Malcolm X suing US law enforcement agencies for complicity in his assassination 6 decades ago. They claim the CIA, the FBI, and the New York Police Department were aware of a plot to assassinate him, but did nothing to stop it. The family is seeking $100 million in damages. 3 men were convicted over his death, but 2 were exonerated more than 50 years later when the case was re-examined. Raymond Hamlin is a lawyer acting for the family.
So you ask yourself this last question: why would the government prosecute 2 individuals knowing those individuals had no involvement in the assassination? What was it that our government, that this city was trying to protect?
Correspondent Rowan Bridge is following developments from Washington. He gave me this update.
Malcolm X was a charismatic but controversial figure within the civil rights movement of the 1960s in the United States. He was the chief spokesman for the Nation of Islam, to start off with, a sort of black nationalist movement. And he became famous for saying that black people should use whatever means necessary to claim back their civil rights, including violence. But he split from the Nation of Islam. He went on a pilgrimage to Mecca and came back with a very different sort of viewpoint. He moderated his earlier views, and that had created a lot of tension with the Nation of Islam, and he received death threats to his life, and he feared for his own safety when he returned to the United States. And then he was giving a speech at a ballroom in New York when he was assassinated. He was shot dead in front of several hundred people. And the allegation now is that there was complicity by the authorities in Malcolm X's death. This all comes off the back of a letter which was allegedly written by a New York police officer before he died in 2020, where he said he had infiltrated Malcolm X's organization and got his security team to commit offences so that they could be arrested by the New York police before Malcolm X gave that speech. And then the allegation is also that there were undercover officers in the ballroom who did nothing to protect Malcolm X and allowed that shooting to go ahead. And there has always been controversy over whether the authorities were complicit in his death or not. And I think this court case, really, one of the things they're hoping to do is prize out that information to get a full accounting of what happened, and also to get reparations for the family of Malcolm X.
Yeah, so take us through the timeline now. What happens next?
Well, I mean, American court cases can take some time. I mean, this is a civil...
What's up?
Nah, I was just going to say good luck with that, player. They talking about 100 mil. They talking about 100 mil for his estate. You know how much money they gave the King family after they won his wrongful death suit? You want to guess how much money the King family got? $1 million. $1 million. Damn. $1 million. And after they paid the lawyers, that Coretta Scott King and squad walked away with like $240,000 for the quote unquote greatest civil rights leader of all time. So good luck to Malcolm X's family. Think they're gonna get 100 mil off of it. Listen, these people still ain't told the folks who killed JFK. Listen, bro. Listen, bro.
What about the magic bullet?
Bro. Bro, they still ain't tell the folks who killed JFK. You think they gonna tell people who killed Malcolm X? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. You have a better off chance finding out who killed Jesus. I'm telling you, you might be able to find a nigga to tell you who put the first nail in his body on that cross, my nigga.
All right, man. You gonna have Wes and Billy Carson into the chat.
Hey. I ain't beat for those scammers. Both of them could come on here. We will have a field day with them niggas. Like, please do. Because I talk from outside myself when I'm thinking about myself, on top of myself. Pause.
Oh my God.
Bringing against the FBI, the CIA, and the New York Police Department. So that case will now have to make its way through the courts. At the moment, though, the authorities involved are all making no comment on the case. So at the moment, we have the sort of headline that the case has been filed, this unlawful death suit has been filed, and now we'll wait for that to sort of grind its way through the American legal system, really.
Reach there.
Okay.
So now, with that being said, with these security guards being hemmed up, right? So there's on that story, there's a whole big ordeal that for them to get locked up, they did the same thing that they did to the Black Panther Party, or Shakur, his mother, Afina, or Ethne, if I said that right. They are saying that they had a plot to blow up the Statue of Liberty. There's this big conspiracy of blowing up the Statue of Liberty. So they found these two gentlemen, the security guards, convicted them and framed them for these allegations, and they went to prison. Whereas you got people who feel like the bodyguards was in on it. But remember when you guys said earlier, they got taken to jail, now they're out, or whenever they got out, now they're coming forth as witnesses in this story. Like, what's y'all thoughts about that?
I think it's difficult. I think it's difficult, honestly, for any of us to truly be able to retroactively go back into assign guilt. I mean, bro, we talking about 60 years, bro.
Right.
Like, you know how difficult it is to convict somebody from 5 years ago,
dude.
Like,
let
60
alone
years, bro. I just think just with the time in and of itself, in order for you to retroactively go back and assign guilt, I just don't know how. I don't know how real that is, bro. Like, honestly, because you'd have to tell me what is the reasoning for it now, why versus why it couldn't have happened back then, or why it hasn't happened up until now. Like, anytime stuff like this comes up, I always have a cause to pause, because it's like, is this like the dangling of the meat that they didn't want in the house that they giving y'all for scraps to feed yourself? Like, is this like, all right, well, y'all getting too close over here, so we're gonna give y'all this type shit? Or is this just another distraction? I question the validity of it. All because of the timing and because of how long people kept their mouths shut. It's difficult for me to see any truth in any of this at this point.
Facts, I felt that. Because it's like, why now? Why this all of a sudden? Like,
like Bill Cosby went to jail because a woman said he raped her 40 years ago, right? Now, that's cool and all, but I don't know what I did 2 weeks ago. So you remember everything that happened to you 40 years ago? Okay, and he got convicted. So, like, it's hard for me to see truth, and then it's hard for me to expect truth to come from that system in and of itself. So I don't really know what to speak to that, honestly.
So here's this play. So this is the same lawyer that's on the trial, but he also did the trial for the George Floyd case. Would you say that's a convenient or?
He also did Trayvon Martin, bro, way before George Floyd. He did Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin, Philando Castile, you name it, he on the scene.
And he was the new version of Cochran. After Cochran,
it's like he be on so much shit that it make me think, like, if it's some fake shit, let's call this nigga. Because if it's ever some real shit, this nigga ain't nowhere around. If some neighborhood shit happen in your hood, this nigga will see him. But if it's some national sensational shit, he there yapping.
Yeah, this is how you know. You always see his face out front. You always see his face when there's a lot of cameras. However, you never see his face when the verdict comes out. You never see him on camera walking with the winner. That's how I know. He's never walking with the winner. He's always out front with the losers at the beginning of the trial. But at the end of the trial, he's never walking with the winner. So
yeah, because just like when I was just looking into this, I'm like, you telling me this same lawyer for this case, and then those other cases you saying, it's like, come on, man. Like, it's like they give us the same trick all the time, but it's like everybody just falls for it because it's like they don't know, but it's like they telling you though.
It's not that, and it's not that we don't know. It's not that we don't know. It's that they know exactly what to do to get you in your feelings, right? And they know that once they get you in your feelings, you're not thinking logically. You're not thinking right and exact. You're not thinking about what you should be thinking about at that particular time. You in your feelings. So it's the same wash, rinse, repeat that they put on black people since the beginning of time. Let's get them emotional. Let's get them wanting to respond because they have to make you hear their voice. And while they're doing all of that, we're signing the paperwork. Like while they doing all of that emotional shit. This is what they do. Wash, rinse, repeat. Get y'all in your emotions and your feelings.
It's like we should be able to take care of business and figure things out on the backside. But I'm sure you niggas have been to a party. But y'all haven't broke down a law dictionary with y'all mans so y'all could collaborate on an LLC or some shit like that. Because if you introduce scholastical things to black people, they are not interested. They are not excited. But if you tell a nigga you having a buffet and goddamn Beyonce is going to be singing at the intermission, niggas is about to fucking they going to pass out. They going to lose their fucking mind. They'll be like, oh my God, I can eat unlimited chicken wings and dance to Beyonce. Please don't tell me you have Hennessy, unlimited Hennessy. I'm all for it. It's called marketing. It's called marketing.
Yeah.
It's a way to market to black people.
Yeah. Tell a motherfucker Usher is taking pictures for a limited time only with a certain number on that picture. Niggas' wives will risk it all. Go take that picture.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Bitch ready to risk it all, nigga, for a picture.
And it's like, it make me think ever since when I looked up the etymology of celebrity, and it literally mean ritual, and you go to a concert, that's a ritual. And it's like Jamie Foxx. Remember Jamie Foxx had a tattoo on the back of his head, but he got it removed or whatever? Sound good, look good. All right. It's a ritual. So it's like, I feel like now it couldn't even be no Malcolm X in this world that we live in today. It probably get as way more dynamic as Malcolm X. We just don't give a fuck.
Don't give a fuck.
Because he ain't sell as many records as Future or some shit. He not lit on social media.
Because he ain't bang on the ops.
He ain't went viral yet. We got a long way to go as a people. So it's like niggas like Ben Crump, he put us in these past ever since 2012. That run of Barack Obama years set us back, man.
Set us way back.
All that shit was like lynchings in 1940, man. They were showing you on camera them killing black men over and over again. Every month it was another nigga getting shot by the police on camera for the whole world to see.
Niggas couldn't
help. And then the cops was getting acquitted for the shit. And Ben Crump was there, and the cops would get acquitted, and you did not see Ben Crump's ass. He set us back. He was always there, like we gonna sue him. When the cops got off, the nigga just disappeared.
And then
when somebody else gets shot, here his ass go again. We fighting for
pop up over there. It's like, yo, nigga, we just looking for you.
They let off Trayvon and them. Yeah, that shit crazy.
Like we thought you was still in Florida.
You can't make this up. You can't make this up.
Like, yo, we thought you was still in Florida, nigga. How you show up in St. Louis like that?
George Zimmerman about to get some head tonight.
Word to mother. Because of Ben Crump ass. The fuck?
This shit is a farce.
Yeah, all of this shit is a farce, bro.
It's like some fucking Shakespearean, the world's a stage type of
Yeah,
shit.
it's just like this shit is like Othello, my nigga. Like, and that's the way I view all of it. Because, like Hood said, we can't point to anything of relevance from the civil rights era and be like, yeah, them niggas did a good job. Like, what? Please. You want what? You want to tell me the HBCUs that are owned by Jewish people? Huh? You want to tell me the NAACP, which is run and owned by Jewish people? Or maybe you want to talk to me about BET, which is now owned and run by Jew. Like, which way would you like me to go with it? Because everything that they gave y'all as purported melanated black people movements were started behind the scenes by them and given to y'all as a ploy.
Marcus Garvey.
Especially Marcus Garvey, especially Noble Drew Ali, especially.
Marcus Garvey had a Back to Africa movement. If that's not CIA and FBI, anything African American, there's no country called Africa. There's no place called Africa. Africa is a continent. There's no legal registry for Africa.
Or Africans.
Niggas, we going to Ghana, we going to Kenya,
Uganda,
Ethiopia, South America, Egypt. Where's we going?
Like, yeah, like if niggas ever wanted to fight the go back home war, like niggas would be so confused. Niggas would be so confused, bro.
I'm not opposed to Africa or Africans. I'm just, when people say Africa, I just feel like that's way too vague. And we gonna make a horrible assumption that we always make. If these people have dark skin, then somehow we are related and somehow we are like. But skin is not a determiner of bloodline. It's not a determiner of spiritual quality. It's not a determiner of extraterrestrial quality.
Or like DNA.
DNA is none of those qualities that are at play when we are referencing who we are as melanated beings in America. Like what we truly represent, what we truly stand for. And when we are deduced and diminished to Africa, that is a government idea. Because your grandmother or your great-grandmother or your great-great-grandmother said we got Indian in our family, probably Cherokee. Because that's just what it was.
Cherokee, Lenape, Seminole, like Algonquin, like it's not
Creek, Muskogee,
like it's not anything what like the annals of history tell us. It's like it's not none of that. That's why you start to see more and more people come out now and say, oh, the melanated people are the real Native Americans. Well, duh. Like this is come on, like every 20 some odd years, 25 or so some odd years, they want to change the distinction on these melanated beings.
Now we foundational Black American.
Now we FBI.
I'm not about to switch it up.
I'm not doing this
is hustling.
Yeah, I'm not doing this again, bro. I'm not gonna grab any echo
chamber. Hey, yo! You forgot about the BWO, the Black World Order.
See, I don't know.
That's the shit that make me hang up. Just be like, yeah, I'm good, bro. Niggas start talking like that, wearing purple and gold in the street. Like, yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good, bro. That's the thing. Like, we have never, ever been able to commingle, cooperate, and agree on the one concept of a people. And then we all bash each other because we don't believe the same thing about our people. It's super weird. It's super weird. And I'm telling you, like, they laughing at us. You know what I'm saying? Like, the rest of the world is like, these niggas still ain't figure it out.
That's basically what I mean. Like, it's a whole world out here. Like, it's a whole world that black people do not generally have access to, based upon the small mindedness and closed mindedness that comes from the root of civil rights and COINTELPRO and all of the crack epidemic. And come to find out, the crack was being traded for guns by our government, CIA. They will go to Nicaragua and bring back the cocaine and flood the crack in California, and then California was sending crack all throughout the country. That's why it could be three black men on a panel, and I can almost guarantee that I would say 100% either have had a close relative struggle with crack or know of somebody who have struggled with crack and crack addiction,
Super
because
fast.
it's a government program. So it's not like the Mexicans came to America and was like, yo, we got some shit for y'all. No, the government brought that shit over here. The government said, hey, add baking soda, because the baking soda, the sodium bicarbonate, is going to bond with y'all melanin, and y'all going to be OD addicted. It's going to spread through y'all communities like wildfire, and y'all never going to recover.
Mm-hmm.
And this all happened after the civil rights movement.
After.
So niggas like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, I mean, dope.
They
But
helped
they
usher
couldn't
in
even
that shit.
they couldn't prevent the crack epidemic.
That's a fact. And if you want to ask me, and you want to ask anybody who grew up in that time, in that era, I could almost guarantee you that most of the melanated people back then would tell you that the crack epidemic was worse than the civil rights movement. Whatever niggas thought that they was fighting in the civil rights movement and all of that, that shit ain't had nothing on the crack epidemic.
The crack epidemic worse because you couldn't fight back. Because you was just anybody that fight back against, the only thing that stopped the crack epidemic is that millennials seeing how fucked up it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, we just not going to smoke crack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we just going to forego that high. We going to let that go.
Fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. Ain't nobody I grew up with that was like, yeah, son, we need another. Nah.
We done with that era. So the Gen X's that was strung out on the crack and
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason, right? But like now, millennials, we not fucking around for the most part. But then they come back with these Gen Zs and get them all hooked to the goddamn opium.
And the fentanyl.
Martin Luther King did not prevent the opium epidemic. Malcolm X did not prevent the opium epidemic and the fentanyl. So, what did these niggas actually do? Martin Luther King and Malcolm X did not prevent them redlining and saying, we only going to give out but so many loans to black people anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Let alone in these areas. We're not letting them move to nowhere else. So it's not to say we can be able to move, and you might can work and get a good job and get married and live a good life, and congrats to you. But we talking about a worldwide people that is suffering, and none of the people that succeed They never send the olive branch back.
Nope.
They never give you information. They never try to tell you anything, set up no institutions, no foundations. There is no African American learning center like it is a Jewish learning center, where you could just get told the game on how to succeed in life, and we could thrive as a community. Niggas will stunt on your ass. People will use you for money and say, well, nigga, you gotta figure it out. Something wrong.
That
And
it,
you stole from me. Like, damn,
yeah.
nigga, why you ain't getting on your feet, bruh?
And if there was anything that I could say is the Black American experience in America, that is it right there. Niggas prefer to stunt on each other rather than help each other. Niggas prefer to stunt on each other. And at the same time, be talking about shit, nigga, I got it. I need to get it. And meanwhile, this nigga sitting on ducks, he can't die with. He can't go nowhere with that shit. He can't take that shit everywhere he go with him. But that nigga will rather die with that shit in his bank account than give it to you.
Mm-hmm. Or even information. It's information it's something that you can know that can save your life right now. You just don't know it. And you go walk past a bunch of people that know that information that you need to know. They just not gonna tell you. They gonna say, "Oh, how you doing? Oh man, how was your day? Did you watch the game last weekend? That was a great game, man. It was nice talking to you. I'll see you later, bro." This is the way of the world. We don't live in a world where people are just sharing information that could benefit you for some odd reason. They feel for whatever reason that your success is going
It's
whatever.
taken away from them.
Yeah, whatever logic is behind it. I mean, people think that I'm weird because I like to share information. I like to learn new things and discuss things. I'm talking to my family member this weekend and they're like, "Yeah, man, that shit that you do." I'm like, learning about the world around me.
You ain't say it like that, did you?
I mean, I be feeling that way. I don't know what I be saying. Sometimes I be out of body with niggas, man.
You don't know how it come across though, right?
I don't know how it come across, man. I'm pretty sure I come across pretty dickish at this point because niggas do not invite me to the barbecue.
He said, that shit that you do, like, yeah, learning.
Yeah. Reading books, trying to better myself, mind, body, and spirit. Not being controlled by information that I'm told, like figuring it out for myself so I can do my proper due diligence. What?
Oh, you mean
Niggas
that
swear
work?
I be there. Yeah. Trying to monetize, trying to promote myself adequately, market myself, like have multiple streams of income. Oh, you not on that type of shit? Okay, cool. Like, what the fuck? That's great.
Yeah.
Fuck,
That's
nigga.
It's just interesting, It's like we live in this world where you don't have to ask, what is this place? You could just be in it.
Word.
That part scares me, man.
That's the part that scares me too, bro. Like, nobody wants to talk about where the fuck we at. Motherfuckers is just doing shit.
Niggas just be doing shit, man. That should be scary.
Shit, bro. Like, y'all niggas love to talk about the Bible, right? But I'm still trying to figure out this part that says the waters were separated from the waters. And I'm like, so that means the water is up there, nigga. So, like,
asshole above, asshole below.
And niggas don't want to talk about that shit though, bro. Niggas want to know what's going on with Travis Hunter and his thotty girlfriend. Like, bro, like, shit weird, bro. Y'all don't even want to talk about where we at. What's going on where we at, bro? That motherfucking OnlyFans is real important until an EMP hit, nigga. You can't even get to that money now. What the fuck?
I was just talking about that earlier with Hood. Like, man, like niggas better learn about fucking dehydrated fucking food, freeze dry shit, like type of shelf life type shit. Like, just understanding or knowing all that shit is a different type of like understanding and survival for yourself, honestly.
And the one thing I still know that I know how to do, that I will know how to do every fucking day, that is operate outside of and off of a fucking network. How many motherfuckers right now, they get up tomorrow and all the lights is out? What the fuck is you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't call nobody. What the fuck is you gonna do? You gonna go talk to that motherfucker you walk past every day now? Like, you gonna ask that motherfucker? Like, motherfuckers is weird, bro. Like,
Bro, said walk past that person you talked to.
yeah, motherfuckers will walk past you all day, every day. And then the moment they need something, they're gonna say something to you. Like, okay. I think about that shit because I'm a community nigga. Like, I do all my shit in the community. So, like, I talk to everybody in my community, my building, my block, like everything. Well, I just can't understand how people could just go about their life and just totally disregard everyone. Like, you just don't exist. Like, that shit is weird to me.
They be in their head. Who is this guy fucking talking to?
Listen, man. Life has taught me one thing. It is that at some point or another, you're gonna need somebody.
Somebody to love. Somebody. Nah, for real though, man.
Yeah, no such thing as I did it by myself. That's not even a real concept.
You right
if
now.
it is, you know, some goofy shit.
Nah, now it's gonna be to a point where it's gonna be like now people like, yeah, I didn't do it by myself. AI helped me. That's where it's at now.
ChatGPT got 300 million users.
You already know what that's gonna be.
300 million users.
Imagine being a college student and you didn't use ChatGPT and you typed your paper and you turned it in. Your teacher like, yeah, I see. I sense AI in your paper. Redo it. Like, imagine going through some shit like that. You be like, what? That's not your word style. What do you mean?
There's so much plagiarized shit out right now that you would really fuck up the system if you didn't get it plagiarized. I'm serious. Like, the system would be like, nah, this gotta be fake.
Is this original thought, nigga? Nigga, you was being creative, thought this on your own and wrote it down. Yeah, man, start over. Better go to Ryan AI, nigga. Switch it up.
Because, like,
anything else you gentlemen want to cover, man? I feel like tonight was a pretty fire show.
Yeah, we started really late, so I mean, I'm good with it. We got to come back with something more profound next time. But yeah, what's today? Wednesday, Friday. Probably look out for something Friday if y'all brothers is free. Hopefully, we get something planned out a little bit earlier, depending on people's schedules and shit.
Let's link. Let's collab. Let's work on something, man. I'll be around.
Same.
All right, I'm gonna hit y'all brothers in the morning because I wanna. I got some ideas about a documentary I've been kicking around.
All right, word.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right,
King.
I'll show y'all.
Peace.
Peace. Good shit tonight.
Initiates for the flame. You are now programmed to drop dem draws. Have you been maintaining your flame?
You underestimated your child. You underestimated your child. You underestimated your child.